All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the advanced course or the advanced training also on the Mailchimp topic here this afternoon. I hope you had a wonderful lunch. Here, the team is preparing everything in a really wonderful way. I have to say that also this morning for the whole audience. It's really great to have this kind of opportunity to talk to you about my favorite topic, Mailchimp and email marketing automation. But before we begin, please put in the chat what kind of email software do you use at the moment. Is it Mailchimp? Is it ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, any sort of system? Please use the chat, and I will also urge you to be really engaged during the next 45 minutes with a presentation. And there are a lot of things you can actually do from home, from your screen at the moment. So in the end, it's even better than having everyone sitting here next to each other, because you have now the time at your place and the best feelings and can follow this presentation. Of course, all the slides we're showing in a minute, you can download that later here in the app of the Booking Manager Summit.com. And by saying that, let's get started. So today, or now we are showing like an advanced section of the Mailchimp automation process. But the next 45 minutes we can spend together. I want to first give a brief introduction about who is actually this Paul now virtually talking to you. Who is this guy actually on your screens? And as you maybe hear from my accent, I'm from Germany. I'm an email marketing automation specialist, and also love Mailchimp a lot because it brought me like 10 years ago into the world of email marketing and marketing automation itself. And also, as you can see here on the slide, Mailchimp also loves me because every year they are giving like presents and small boxes to their preferred partners. And since we are working with like big but also small companies together, they also love us back and give us like presents like I was doing here in the screenshot. And particular, what I would say is my special focus is the target group of local independent businesses. So businesses like also you who are maybe not big enterprise, big companies, who are just operators who have maybe only one or two people working on marketing. And the whole presentation, which you will see here today in the next 45 minutes, is targeted specifically for you. So there are no big slides where I explain big strategies or big topics. All those things can be actually operated and executed by people like you. And as a special part in this advanced section, I urge you also to use the comment section for questions, which we can do at the end or also in between. But what I really want to do is that you learn a lot. So we can also jump into Mailchimp, get in the account, and also do a quick demo for, let's say, a question you have. But to go further, maybe we should ask first or answer first the question, why do we actually need to use email marketing in today's world where we have like a lot of different channels? Social media, Instagram is of course like putting a lot of attention to people's mind. New platforms like TikTok are emerging. So why should we actually invest time and money in this kind of old channel? And I totally understand this question because we sometimes don't see the exact results we're looking for. I don't know if some of you in the audience is remembering open rates or click rates like 20 years ago. 1999, for example, everyone of us had like huge open rates. 50–60% were like on average the open rate from our newsletters. But single campaigns won't see these kind of open rates anymore. So a lot of people ask me this question, why should we actually spend money and time in building up our email marketing automation process? And I always highlight the automation part because that's of course where the 10x growth lies as well. So first reason why we should spend more time and money into email marketing automation is that this channel has, even today, it's a chart from 2018, the highest return on investment compared to all other channels we are used or we know to use. For example, brochures, like paper brochures which you give or flyers, has like the least kind of return on investment you can really see and track. Google search, for example, also doesn't reach to that level as like email marketing campaigns, or also the others like PPC campaigns on AdWords, for example, or display banner ads when you want to retarget someone, or also if you have like a mobile phone. None of those channels has the same return on investment than email marketing if it's done correctly. That's of course like an average number from all different channels, but also as an email, you can really do a bad job in doing, for example, Google organic or search engine optimization. Every channel has its own unique context and its own unique complexities and channels. But what we see here is an average number on the return on investment per euro or per dollar spent. And that's also what I see in the past when it's done correctly and when it's not only done as like a kind of hobby, then we can really earn money with that and also build trust and build a strong relationship with our customer base or even like leads. The second big question, because I have in total 3 different reasons why you should invest in email marketing, is this one. This chart really blew my mind when I've seen that, because of course from our maybe personal perspective, the first thing we check in the morning is maybe our Instagram account, our other Facebook account or social media channels. But on average, if you look to this chart, most people are maybe not like us who are aware of all these marketing channels. Most people are just checking maybe their emails, and that's also what represents here this chart from 2018. When we look to this, more than the half of the people who got asked from this survey open as the first app their email inbox. So that's why I always think like, hey, it's the best spot to be in your clients or in your leads inbox to really get the full attention. And talking about attention, that's also the next and last reason why I should really think newly of this kind of email marketing, of your email marketing campaigns, is this fact. It's not Dagobert duck, it's the rich part of the duck family. It's your own actually digital asset. Your email marketing list is actually something you own. It's not owned or not used by platforms like Google, Facebook, Instagram, or something else where you always rely on their algorithm, where you can't really control what you actually, or what's the order of different content. Every time Facebook is changing the algorithm or Google, you need to have a new strategy, you need to have a new tactic, and that's totally different in the channel of email marketing. It's always reaching your people, your subscribers, if they are, of course, GDPR confirmed and have a double opt-in. I don't want to go into those kind of little details. That's maybe just all the beginner levels, but I assume you all know about like GDPR rules in terms of email marketing. If not, please use the chat and ask questions here. So this last reason is really my personal favorite one, because we can always use this email list for our purposes, for every different occasion, and it's actually our own digital gold. So if you invest in email marketing automation, then you can lie maybe here on the beach as well and see how A, your email list is growing, and B, also that clients and people are interacting with your emails. And how to do that, that's actually a good question. That's the next part of this presentation, where I want to give you a brief overview on basically 3 different ideas and perspective from my own, how you should actually perform in an optimal way your email marketing campaign. And to start off, I would like to highlight that you focus first and solely on the journey and not clicks or open rates. That's the number one mistake a lot of people are doing. They're too hard focused on like the numbers, the reports, and why didn't we do this, that. I mean, that's also the beauty of email marketing. If you as an advanced student, let's call it like that here, you can do A/B tests. With Mailchimp, it's really easy, and you don't just need the standard plan, I think, where you can then bring up a hypothesis and say, I would like to test a different subject line. I would like to, include an emoji. Maybe at the moment you are kind of a bit scared how that would maybe feel about your the readers, but let's test it. Let's do A/B tests and then see the results from data. And that's also the beauty of email marketing, that you can A/B test nearly everything. content, subject lines, even preview texts, call to actions, everything you can A/B test. That's maybe something for you as an advanced learner. If you're not familiar with A/B tests, of course, you can just start by working out simple campaigns. And simple campaigns is also a good topic I want to talk as the next thing, because who of you, that's maybe a good question also for the audience, what do you think has higher open rates? Please put it in the chat. Single campaigns is 1. Please then just press 1 on your keyboard. If you think automated email campaigns has a higher open rate, then press please 0. And with automated email campaigns, I don't mean to schedule a newsletter. I mean transactional-based emails which are sent out without you touching anything. You just set it up maybe in the past, but then automated campaigns are like rolling out regularly or on a trigger-based action, for example, when a trip is over from your client, or when he didn't bought like since 12 months. This is kind of what I mean with automated and transactional-based campaigns. Single campaigns is, of course, the simple newsletter we are sending out every month or every quarter or whatever. So who of you think has the higher open rate? Single campaigns, 1. I think like feedback from lovely Nadia here is like most of people think single campaigns has the highest open rates. It's really interesting because the first group this morning thought exactly the same, but that's not the truth. Here are the average numbers of the open rates. On average, 20 to 25% of single-based campaigns, newsletter campaigns, are opened. Of course, like from 100 people, only 20 to 25 will open that. You can check your own Mailchimp or email marketing stats right now if you think like you're over average or under average. And I would like to learn also about how you perform in the chat. So please feel free to chat with Nadia here as a moderator if you have above the single campaign open rate or not. Automated campaigns, like those transactional-based campaigns, has much, much higher open rates. That's just because of one simple reason. They are kind of expecting something. When you are, basic example, when you're ordering something, when you booked the yard, then you expect some sort of confirmation. Most confirmations are maybe at the moment done manually. Yes, you have booked, thank you a lot, blah, blah. But those kind of things, you can really easily automate also in a much more personalized and a much more professional way without actually doing anything. You just need to set up one template and then tag a person, and I can show to you how that's been done. And then automated this kind of confirmation or a reminder, for example, if someone didn't book the last year, those kind of emails are then opened on average 80 to 85%. So this way you might also be interested, hey, okay, automated campaigns, I would like to set something up, but the reality often looks like this. We are always too busy and always think, no, I can't, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources yet, the power to build up, to think about those kind of automated campaigns, which actually drives our 10x growth, which I was promising in the tagline, in the long term. We are always rushing, that's my experience from most companies, we are always rushing just for the next deadline, the next season, but we're not trying to stop here and think long term. And I mean, one thing which I need to highlight here as well is, I mean, you as a business owner or operator or, I don't know, decision maker, you did the right choice to coming to this event, because this at the moment gives you the time to think about. And not a lot of people, your competitors, they're just thinking, I don't need this education, I don't need this kind of input. But at the end, they look the same like here. They're always rushing the next season, and you have at the moment the right time to think about your whole email marketing process and think about who do you want to be. Do you want to be who is like always saying we're too busy, we can't do that, which is maybe better in the long term? Or do you want to be the guy who are innovating things and try to think long term with, for example, automated workflows, which I will go into a minute. And the first thing as a kind of tool I want to give you is just think about the customer journey. Think about what kind of goals do they have in each different area of the purchase process. Definitely, they have different kind of interests when they are considering going with a boat, going with a family on a boat vacation. They have different kind of intentions and goals than when they want to compare prices. That's like more than the decision period. When they purchased or when the purchase period is happening, then of course they have totally another goal. They want maybe more information, background information on the place where they will joining, where they will have the vacation. And of course also after the trip has happened, they had totally different goals, totally different thought process on your clients, which you probably know the best. And these things needs to be mapped out so that you can accordingly target those emails and also provide them with valuable information. Because one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to spam those people. We don't want to provide them with valuable feedback at the right time with the right context. That's what I'm always saying. For example, when you are with grouping your customers, if they're business people, families, this information is so valuable to contextualize your email contact and to personalize your email contact as well, which we will see in a minute. So customer journey mapping is a really nice process, really nice tool or approach we do with our clients for like having better relevant email content. And what I want to also show here in this kind of area is that a lot of people are still thinking about the funnel, like, you know, sales funnel, we need to put in as much people or as much attention as possible, and as an outcome, as a result, we get, of course, purchases. But to actually think, and I really urge you to also think the new way, is more like a flywheel. It's more like a purchasing flywheel or customer flywheel, lead flywheel, where you then always has a really good choice after someone purchased, after someone had a really wonderful trip with you, to really re-engage for next year, for the upcoming season with this client, with his customer. Because in the old way, those kind of steps were always missing or not really put into account, where you can like think about the new way in a much, much better way. And this way you can also demonstrate that in your Mailchimp account, for example. One way to do that is the customer journey builder. It's kind of new feature. They launched it, I think, like 3 or 4 months ago, where you can really easily drag and drop your automated workflows. Some of you maybe know the old days where you had to, in a really ugly user interface, structure every workflow one by one. Like it was really not a beautiful user interface. But with a new customer journey builder from Mailchimp, it's really simple to drag and drop different kind of if statements, else statements, so that, for example, if you tag one person manually with your phone, then another customer journey is like starting, and you can accordingly then adjust your email copy, your email content to the context of the tag you gave a person. So that's a really powerful tool. You can use that for a little, I think, like entry price essential plan of Mailchimp. You can use that already. So it's a wonderful tool, and it saves a lot of time, and it will be your first 24/7 salesperson when you actually are really engaged and when you are really all in into email marketing automation. That's a really cool tool, and I even brought you, just for inspiration, here 4 different interesting touch points or different events you clients are having. They're definitely booked yard with you. They definitely then have a date when the trip is approaching, and definitely it's always sometimes the end. So this is also a third important event I want to highlight here. And then, of course, you can offer, or that's maybe the last step, that they have a special offer receiving for next year's trip, because they need to think of every year what do they do with their family, what do they do with their business trip. They want to do something special, and when you have them as a customer for one time, it's really easy also to get them back for the second time, third time, and fourth time. So these 4 things here, you can really easily set up in your Mailchimp customer journey builder, and accordingly create emails, create copy to then send them relevant information when they booked a yard. And I will show you an example how they can look like in a minute. Also, the other steps are really important and really crucial. It's like a moment of truth for you and your customers to be different than the competitors. That's what I want to mention here with the Customer Journey Builder. Number 2, on how to use professionally email marketing automation is that you need to share the lessons and the stories. I've seen so many emails at the moment, and I subscribed to some of you who are watching at the moment, and some of them were really, really bad. Some of them there were okay. Some of them were also good. So don't feel, I don't want to personally, of course, attack you, but stop sending out just like product information. Just like, hey, buy this, buy that. People don't want to see that. They always see that when they watch television, when they go to Facebook, YouTube. The last thing they want to see is an advertising in their inbox. So start sharing some lessons you as a business owner or decision maker receives or has learned maybe from the area you are in, maybe the type of boat you're renting. Those kind of lessons, they are valuable. They are like interesting for people who are looking for, who are trying to make a decision where to spend a holiday, where to spend a lot of money with their family, with their business employees. That's like interesting, but not that it's 10% off. Like these kind of topics or things are not the way to go. And another thing, of course, are stories with customer, with other people, or stories from you personally as a decision maker. And the next thing to create those content, to create really engaging content, is especially also what we are doing at the moment. You're watching TV at the end, learning something about a really good tool I really love and I'm really committed to, which you can consume, and hopefully it's also valuable. Otherwise, we can stop here. But the best thing to think about creating content is like this. Don't go into production mode, because that will blow up the budget. That won't happening in the long term. Think more about documenting. And Gary Vaynerchuk, if you YouTube him, if you search him on YouTube, he's like the inventor of this kind of, I would say, thought process. Start documenting all the life, or not all the life, of course, but all the business-related things and stories you are having at the moment. Maybe you have also some troubling moments, which you can document and also put on camera with your phones, with your gear, really easily, and put that also later on into your email marketing strategy, because email and video, they are like chocolate and milk. That's like a wonderful combination, and that's why I really urge you to invest also in video marketing. Of course, I understand that some of you are like, entertainers or are a bit shy maybe in front of the camera. But I mean, there are all sort of different possibilities you can use. For example, a room, or you go to the beach, you go on the boat, even better, go outside, in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. No one is watching you, and you can record the whole day. And I also promise you, when you send Nadia or me the video, I will watch it and review it. So that's also only for the advanced people here in the group. That's an offer I will do for free. You can always send me a video. Please do it short and not longer than maybe 20 minutes. But send it to me. I will review it and give you also feedback on the video you do, because this is the way to go to produce videos. That's a really simple reason. 80% of all the content that's out there on the web is consumed by video. The reason behind this is that we as humans are just better capable of consuming information. You can hear me talk, you can see me walking around, having body language. This kind of way is a much higher way to consume content. And there's, I think, one question here which we can jump in right now. But first, before we go to the question, Nadia has that on her chat. I want to give you also maybe a kind of background story from how I started with video. I didn't was like the entertainer or like, holding presentations from the beginning. The first video was about a small video course also on the topic why you should do email marketing. And I did that in the basement of my apartment in Germany. And I was so nervous that I had to open my whiskey bottles, which I got as a present, just to be more comfortable. Of course, now I don't need that anymore. Otherwise, it would be a bit difficult. But that's like a small, maybe also background story that everyone is nervous when they are looking in front of the camera. But now we can go for the first question, and I love taking questions. So I don't know if the mic is on for question. Audio? Oh.
So we have first question from Edita from Ditas Consulting. And she's asking, do you have any statistics on videos? So how do they perform in newsletters?
Yes, really good one. We have that also right now. Like, I can say that from my personal experience. There might be also statistics which I can research and have a look later on, because that's definitely really important. I show you how we perform with video and what we do, and with our customers what we do. That's what I also have in the slides. Thank you for the question. Goes to, who was from? Edita. Edita. Thank you, Edita, for the question. So video is the way to go to combine that with email marketing. Let's have a quick view on what are the most important videos you maybe have already, or you should produce, you should create those videos in order to also send out to your audience via newsletter. First is product videos. So in your case, it's of course like the different boats you have. Maybe you have already a few boat tours done with the camera, and you don't need to as well have like a high level as the very first video. You can just use your phone, which has a good stabilizer already with the new iPhone 11 and 11 Pro. So you don't need to even, invest like in big gear. It's all in your pocket actually to show around the people what kind of boats you have. So number one, you should do tomorrow, or at least on Thursday. Tomorrow is in Croatia at least a holiday. So do that on Thursday when it's good weather. Take out your phone, go to one boat and just describe what's the benefits, what's the features of the boat. It doesn't need to be really long, but that's really the number one video you should create. Or if you have, of course, the budget, ask your video producer in your neighborhood. Number two, the second video, which is really important and also has a long-term value as well, is testimonial videos. Feedback from your client is of course good if you have that in a written form on your Google My Business account. Wonderful, super wonderful. But the truth and the benefit of a recorded video, of a true recorded customer feedback video, is unpayable. It's really, really gold. And this will hold long, so you don't need to reproduce that all the time. You can use that in your email campaigns when some people are interested, and when you have like family recording, and a family is like giving you a testimonial on how their family trip was. You can always automate an email when someone is requesting for their family trip a boat. As easy as that, so that they can really receive those information from people, from customers in their group and their peer group. Of course, that goes with business groups as well, so you get the idea. Of course, you need to segment the different kind of testimonial videos. And the last video I really want to highlight here are the company video. It also doesn't need to be really long. There are a lot of kind of scripts you can maybe first think of, and then you can place that on your website and also on your email marketing automation workflow, because people want to know more about you. They want to build trust. They want to know who is really operating this kind of yard, or if you're an agency, who is like behind that and what you're actually doing in your business, and why are you doing what you're doing. This is like really important in a company video. And here, that's also the question we just received, which I would urge you also that you produce only exclusive content for your audience, for your email audience. Of course, when you write an email, you're like kind of only producing this piece of content for the email list. But please go a step further and really also quickly pull out your phone once a month, once a quarter. I don't care how often you are sending single campaigns, but just say, hey, we are now live on the boat. We had like a wonderful month, blah, blah. So updates from your company, maybe regarding the season. Also, a lot of people at the moment are asking themselves, are next year boat trips are possible? How are you dealing with like all these hygiene measurements? How are you dealing with COVID-19, for example? It's a perfect piece of exclusive content you're sending out only to important customers already, and they will thank you this. They will thank you this with like bookings, with click rates, and I didn't let you guess how are the click rates, but we are seeing on an average level on our email list, 34% that they click not only the video, also other links we are including once a month in our monthly email. This is like the September update. And this, I don't know how it compares to you, but I think it's huge because we get not only the time they consume our emails, we also get that the customers are consuming our exclusive video and content. And they're not like highly productive, highly produced. They are more like a documentation, and I take them with me and give them updates on how our month was. And sometimes it was maybe also bad. So that's also a long-term relationship you're building trust with, and that's how you can share stories. Last thing I want to mention here on how to do marketing, email marketing automation, professional and a really good way is to get personal. And to get personal is sometimes maybe a bit hard because we are hiding behind our businesses, behind our brands, behind our corporations. But in the end, business is always people business. That's like a really claim you're probably aware of. But in the end, it is. You're only buying something because you trust another person, another institution, that they can deliver on the promise. And this can be done in a highly personal way with email marketing. The first thing to do that is that you, who are watching right now as a CEO, decision maker, whatever, that you become or that you select in your company a brand ambassador. And what do I mean with a brand ambassador? Mostly, it's like the CEO of a company. It's like the leading person who is in charge of everything, mostly CEO or the founder, basically. And this is the perfect person to become a brand ambassador because actually he's responsible for everything. So he needs to talk, he needs to go out. He has, in the 21st century, in 2020, where we live right now, a much bigger role than in the past. Because of course, in the past, he solved problems via phone, solved problems via email or paperwork, but now he has to solve problems in the digital world. And to reach out to the people who care about your business, he has limited amount of time. So he needs to use, for example, also, again, video, to scale up his time and to repeat himself to a lot of people, but on an automated and scalable way. There's no other chance, at least I'm not aware of, that he could stretch his hours per day and have more calls, more emails. So the easiest way is to record the message, or first select a brand ambassador, record a message with him and get really personal with your audience, with your customers. So that's like lesson number 1 here. Lesson number 2 is also that you start writing on the personal name of the CEO, for example. This is something I see too many times, and I also will watch you again on the email subscription. I subscribed after this call to all of your email lists, and check out how is the recipient profile, the sender profile basically. Most sender profiles are like newsletter at, I don't know, Yacht Croatia, or marketing at blah blah. So really unpersonal, really generic. And the worst thing, and I will really watch that in all your emails, is when you have a no reply. When I receive some email from a no reply, I could jump out of the window. That's the worst thing you could do, because that means the company who's sending me an email, they don't even care about my answer. They just want to push the information to my inbox. They just want to give me all the information here in the email, and they don't care about what I think. So this is like the worst thing, and please, I bet you are in the advanced level here. I don't know, we have like 10, 15 people here in the live call. You probably don't do that, but I will check it. So write personal, write your name, and this way, this is also the biggest reason actually why people are opening emails. And just for you to guess, and also to have maybe a small break with the water, what do you guess are the open rates like when you have, of course, built a long relationship, when you have also a personal sender profile? Just type in the chat, what do you think is the open rate of our average newsletters, which we see like from the last 2 years? Oh, and by the way, you can also see it live. I placed a link here. You need to type in https://printable.tips 2020-09. So then you come into our archive if you want to see the whole email live in one version. The open rate is 52%. I don't know if we received any comments. There's a little bit of delay as well, so no worries. 52%, so from 100 people we are reaching out, half of them are seeing our content. And that's also a number, I mean, you can compare it also to your Facebook post, Instagram post, which you see also the reach, because the reach on Facebook, it's counted when someone is spending 3 seconds on your post. So, when you're slowly scrolling and not really interacting with the content, you reach someone on Facebook. But here, if you reach someone, they opened your email, they might have spent more minutes, they might have opened it a second, a third, a fourth time. So this is also the place to get people's attention. And another really good thing to get personal in your email is this one. Oh, sorry, I didn't place that. It's the end that you have a little signature at the end of your email. And I will go ahead. We see 5% of reply rate every month from our single campaigns. That's not automated. It's really a simple single campaign, which we see 5% that people are replying about, like the VIP video we are sending out, about the updates we're giving, and that's actually a good thing. That's a really good thing because then you can re-engage, you can re-interact, you can send him maybe a link where he finds then a solution, or you can call him up and ask about his problem, and also like that you build relationship. Not only with the customer, because also I want to mention that here in the advanced section, you're building trust also with the different inboxes. Because every inbox like Gmail, Web.de or T-Online, I don't know, Yahoo inboxes, they are tracking if emails are spam. So for example, when you use a tool, email marketing tool, it doesn't matter which tool you use, it's always sometimes that IP addresses get marked as spam. And by having you as a reply address or replying to your email, the inbox is definitely saying or holding a flag, hey, if someone is replying to a marketing mail, then we won't mark that as a spam. So by also getting call to actions or placing call to actions in your email copy to say, hey, if you want to learn more, just hit reply. And with this way, you are lowering your spam score, you are engaging your audience in a much, much better way. And one little tactic is just to place here a simple signature at the bottom of your email copy. And maybe you've noticed that's also a second last small tactic here, is that you place like a kind of PS. So with like a PS after your signature, you're kind of, you can place in a little comment or other secondary call to action, which is not the primary call to action, but you can always say, PS, we read every email, so please hit reply if you have any questions. This is something you can use, and some of the people, especially when they open on a regular basis your emails, sometimes they are thinking, hey, now I will challenge you, and I will write back with any kind of question I have. Maybe it's a silly question, but still I will check if you really reply, and that's another moment of truth. You can really deliver on your promise and make sure that your customer is always coming back to you. And since we're here in the advanced section, Nadia, correct me if I'm wrong, we're just with your advanced email marketing people, red flag. So I want to highlight also a tool called Nifty Image. You can start using that for free. They charge like on a consumption-based level, but you can start with Nifty Image. I think 10,000 images are for free, which means you can basically create hyper-personalized images by including information on your contact list. For example, here, Paul Andrew, my name, it's like the name in the email list. Or, for example, a counter when you provide it in the contact when the next trip is starting. This kind of information will then blow people's mind and think like, hey, they're really exciting me. They're giving me a much better experience than a competitor. And with this way, you really strike the other level, you get another level, and also be placed in a 10x growth. And Nifty Image, just Google it. It's really a simple tool to use, which you can place into your Mailchimp or any other email marketing software. It's not only working with Mailchimp, also with others. But this way, you're standing out of the game and you're professionalizing your single, but also your automated email workflows. Another smart tool I really love to use is Video Ask. Video Ask is also a really good way on how to get personal and ask personal questions. It's also a tool you can use for free. I use it still for free. It's a really good tool from maybe Typeform you've heard of. And we can do a little test. So I prepared a little video, which Nadia is sending here in the chat in a minute. So you can just click the link or just write down HTTPS, parental tips, blah, blah, and rate this presentation here. You will see how that works on a consumer level. So if you are recording a video for, let's say, your guests or for your bookings, you can ask, hey, how was your trip? How could we improve? Who would you refer us if you know you are satisfied? And of course, like everyone wants to have here like a really good rating of 5-star, but don't lie to me. Also, I watch all the bad comments because I want to improve, of course, as well. And this is what you can do with the link here in the chat section. Just click on it and you can record it from your laptop or from your mobile device. And you could place a link like that in your automated emails as well. Think about it. Just record maybe a question you are asking, or also in the lead generation process, like when they are not already a customer, you could ask people, hey, what's your intention for the trip? Do you need maybe a skipper or something like that in a really personal way when someone is requesting a yard from you? So Video Ask is a really great tool. And this brings us back to what you can really do today or also the other days with Mailchimp. And to start that, I have of course, you can do a lot of things. And I'm also happy, if that's one of the questions, to jump into Mailchimp and also solve some problems right away. But I won't go into detail of all those things. I just collected 5 advanced things together, which we are then spending the next few minutes. I don't know how much time we have left. Only 5 minutes, okay, so 5 slides. I want also to get to your questions. But let's first start with you as an advanced Mailchimp or email marketing user. You need to start importing more data from MMK systems. I hope I pronounced that right. Because I learned also from yesterday that not 100% of the data which you actually receive in your system are or can be at the moment, maybe they're working on it, but can be transported to Mailchimp. For example, of course, it's still like a tedious process to, let's say, import starting or ending trip dates into the system, or maybe also how much did they spend. Because this number is super crucial to import the revenue from your customer, because then you really see a kind of return on investment from your activities as well in the Mailchimp system, which actually is a kind of small CRM platform. Mailchimp is like transforming and not only be an email marketing tool, they want to become like a more marketing platform, a CRM tool as well for like small or medium-sized businesses. And that's like number 1 tip I would like to highlight here. You have huge possibilities with the contact profile. You can use tags, You can also here use the whole kind of revenue area, which you can then segment your email marketing campaigns in the future. Or you can use, of course, other kind of merge text or other merge fields, which you can create custom infinitely in Mailchimp. And the next thing, as an advanced user, is a tip that I want to highlight here is that you understand your customer. What do I mean with that? To understand or to own your customer is when they are logged in and they don't want to go to another competitor. And this is a psychology thing because when we once buy something, we're committed to a product, to a service. And if we do a really good job and over-deliver on the promise we're giving to our customers, they have no reason to go away. Of course, I hear a lot of prices, they're cheaper than us, but then we did a bad job. If we're only comparable with prices, then there will be always a cheaper person. But to provide a really good experience, to provide good quality and really have a high quality of service won't change your customer's mind in the next year, for example. And this is what I mean with understand your customers. What do they really want from you, from their experience? And if you understand this, and if you can reflect this in your contact profile, for example, so let's say if they are like searching for a family trip, you need to reflect this in your contacts. Prove yourself. Check it right now if you're having the Mailchimp app installed. Check your contact profile if this information could be filtered on your email list. If not, you should definitely change something. Another thing which you can do, and it's really easy to set up as well, is to re-engage with your website visitors. I know there are other tools out there. You can re-engage or do retargeting display ads, for example, on Google, on Facebook, which, to be honest, is a kind of a complex step if you do it really professionally. You need to integrate another pixel, Facebook pixel. You need to set up a Google retargeting audience on your Google Analytics account. It's like hidden in the sections level, and that's where Mailchimp is definitely shining, because in the standard plan, like I think it's paid plan definitely, but you can trigger or you can re-engage with all your website visitors with just a few simple clicks, and that's also really cool because you can then see the reports on how the people are then interacting with your ads. And why I want to give you that as a really good advice is the first time people is visiting our page, it's always time-consuming and expensive. But once they have been on our site and they are still like considering where should they book the yard or where should they request a yard, we can really easily track them then on Facebook or on Google display ads to then remind them, hey, you're still maybe missing a good offer here. We would like to show you, I don't know, customer testimonial videos, see how other people rated us. So those sort of things we can do or we can use in those re-engagement campaigns, which we can set up in Mailchimp in no time. And next big tip, and one of the last tips I think, is that you integrate other tools, other marketing systems which you're already using. There are a couple of automated or default integrations here, like WordPress websites, WooCommerce shops, or Facebook, Twitter, whatever. But the really power lies in Zapier. And please type in the chat if you know Zapier already. Type in 1 if you know Zapier, type 0 if you don't know Zapier. I will explain it anyway. Zapier is more or less the glue of the internet. Zapier connects one app with the other. So, for example, if you're having a survey on SurveyMonkey, you are asking for feedback on this tool. By the way, you can use also service inside Mailchimp right now. But if you, let's say, use Mailchimp for SurveyMonkey for your feedbacks, you can then pull in data from Mailchimp via Zapier to your Mailchimp account. And that works actually with a lot of, I think Zapier has over 3,000 or more tools which you can connect through Zapier to Mailchimp. So also here you have the different possibilities. And I see we have another question, which will come into a minute. Or we are running out of time. Red flag here. Last thing I want to mention is, and I hope my presentation could deliver that on the scale like that, that you should set up automations. There's no other way how to 10x your digital growth when you're always running behind of the next season and the next campaigns. So by saying that, I hope I could deliver give you all the answers why you should use email marketing, how you can do that professionally. We have learned these 3 different lessons, and what you can do today or at the end of the week. And with that, I want to thank you for your time and attention. Now we can come to the question settings.
So we have a question. What is your conversion rate, if you can tell, on automated versus single sending email? Do you have any input on that? Of course, as you mentioned, the click rating is higher on automated, but is the conversion rate higher?
Since it's a good question, where is it from?
Edita again.
Edita, you're in the right section here, in the advanced level section. It's different to say because, first of all, what's the conversion rate? Of course, converting, you have one goal. If you ask what's the conversion rate, you should always ask back, what kind of conversion rate do you mean? Is it like a transactional-based conversion rate? Is it like a cold lead conversion? But to answer that, I think I understand the question 100%. Automated emails, they have a different goal. They are not like some of them. If you are reminding them, hey, you haven't been booked a yard since last year or something like that. Of course, those kind of automated mails, they have the clear goal of getting a request conversion. And from our personal opinion, we see 2 to 5% conversion rate in average. To be honest, we didn't divide it, segmented it, which come from one. So that's something we can definitely also check in. But on average, from email campaigns, we see 2 to 5% conversion rates, no matter what kind of goal we are trying to achieve on the landing page. Sometimes the goal is just to click through and to give us watch time, to give us attention. And if you say, or if you count that as a conversion, you can compare it with the click rate. Then every click is actually for us a conversion, because in the time we're living today, having the attention is actually sometimes has more value than purchasing something for, I don't know, 100 euros in the long term. Yes. Thank you very much for your attention. I think we're running out of time. We are holding also tomorrow advanced section of Mailchimp, so if you have more questions, please join tomorrow. Otherwise, let's have fun with the other sections. Thank you.